everyone, and welcome back to Cat's Coils. Today is going to be a tutorial on how I repair my DIY Microlocs. So if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, I started my DIY Microlocs with twists and I braided the ends. I also colored my locks twice since my installation. I've been locked for a year and 4 months, and I just recently posted a 16-month DIY Microlocs update. So if you would like to see some of the most recent changes that I've seen in my locks, check out my last video. But today I'm going to be showing you some of the things that I have noticed with my locks. I'm going to be singling out a couple locks, and I'm going to show you some of the issues that I'm seeing, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I do to repair those locks. Since I braided the ends of my locks, I'm noticing that some of those ends are doing some interesting things. I wanted to bring this to your attention because if you are getting ready to start your locks journey, or if you have had locks and you started your locks with twist and braided the ends, you might be seeing some of these issues too. So I kind of wanted to point them out and kind of talk about things that we can do in order to preserve the ends of our locks. So if you would like to see how I repair my DIY Microlocs, keep watching. Okay, so let's get into it. These are the items that I had handy when I was repairing my DIY Microlocs. I didn't know what I was going to have to do, so I just had all of these items handy just in case. So I'm going to start by taking a clip and isolating all of the locks that I see that need to be repaired. And this first one, as you guys can see, there is a bud at the end that looks like it's getting ready to fall off. Now, I'm just experimenting with this technique, but as you guys can see, I am wrapping it around the lock itself, if I can catch it. But yeah, so I'm wrapping it around the lock itself. And then when I finish wrapping it around itself, I'm going to do a palm roll to kind of secure it onto the lock. And here you can see there's no more bud at the end, and now it is added onto the lock. So this next lock, I just wanted to show you what a lock looked like on my head that was not damaged in any way, or that didn't have any issues going on with it, just to kind of compare this lock to all the other locks. So if I have any locks that kind of don't look nice and neat like this, and as you guys can see, this lock is still really springy, which means it hasn't even started to lock. It's still a nicely formed twist. But nevertheless, this is what I want my locks to look like on the ends and all the way down the shaft of the lock. So this is kind of my example lock. Just wanted to show you guys that. So what I'm showing you here is a lock that is weak in one spot. And what I've noticed since I've been locked is that if you leave these locks alone, like that have these little weak spots close to the end, they will get weaker and they will tend to break off at that point. So in an effort to prevent that from happening in the future, I am going to try to strengthen that spot by taking a crochet hook, and I'm going to interlock that section of hair. So just in case you guys didn't see where the weak spot was, I'm kind of trying to point to it now. And one way you can tell that you have a weak spot is that you can see through the lock. And so I'm going to show you here my method to strengthen that area. So I'm just going to take the crochet hook and I'm going to interlock that section of hair. And all I'm doing is taking the crochet hook and I'm passing it through the middle of the weak spot, taking the end of my lock, and I'm putting it through the hook and then just pulling the lock through. All right, so I'm going to palm roll it next, and that's just to unify all of the strands to kind of get them rolling around the lock itself. But this looks much stronger than it did before. And so, yeah, I think I like this method. As you can see, you can no longer see through the lock, which is a great sign. All right, so I'm just going to show you guys this again with another lock. And so I'm just taking the crochet needle through the weak spot, putting my ends through the little hook, closing the hook, and pulling my end through the middle of the weak spot. And you have to be very gentle with this technique because a lot of times this is a weak spot. So you don't want to pull hard or anything because the lock itself might it might separate. So just be very gentle. The whole purpose of this is to strengthen it again. So be very gentle as you're pulling it through, just so that it won't become weaker. And just keep repeating that step until you feel like it is strengthened. You probably don't want to pass it through more than 4 times though, because that would be equivalent, I guess, to like a 4-point rotation. Not sure. You guys know this is a DIY journey, so kind of play around with it and see how you like the method. All right, so this next lock has another bud that is about to fall off, and it's just really frizzy on the end. So, and I know that it is budding, it is starting to lock, but I just want my locks to be uniform. Again, this is my journey, so I kind of want to make sure that my locks are locking to my liking. But I'm just taking the bud, wrapping it around the puffy part, and I'm just going to do a palm roll. And I've been finding myself doing like finger rolls, like using just my fingers to roll it, and that kind of helps to wrap the individual strands around as well. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It looks much better in my opinion. All right, so here's another lock that just has a really thick middle part, and I'm just doing a finger roll to kind of make it not so puffy. I don't know, this is just some stuff that irritates me with my locks. I don't want very large sections and then smaller sections. I want them to be nice and uniform. Just a reminder, I do have a healthy set of locks. There are always going to be minor issues that you need to repair, so it's just important to kind of know how to repair your locks, especially if you get your hair done. You want to be able to repair your locks in between your interlocking sessions. I hope this video was helpful. Again, this is what I am doing to repair my locks. What my method may not work for you. I just wanted to show you guys my perspective on how I repair my DIY Microlocs. If you have made it all the way to the end of this video and you've enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button so that this video reaches others who may need this information. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.